Here with your midweek edition of CNN Student News, I'm Carl Azus. Thank you for watching. One of the biggest stories we covered last year involved Iraq and Syria and the rise of the ISIS terrorist group that took over about a third of those countries. President Obama and congressional Republicans are discussing the U.S. approach to ISIS in the coming year. America is currently leading an international coalition fighting the terrorists in the Middle East. But the U.S. role so far has been limited to airstrikes, drone strikes, and advising other troops on how to fight ISIS. Will that change? Will U.S. ground troops be deployed in direct combat, though the president has said they wouldn't be? One thing experts know the answer to: the battle against ISIS won't end this year.
What will the war on ISIS look like in 2015? In a word, tough. For one, ISIS will not be defeated in 2015. Despite the U.S.-led air campaign and some more aggressive operations by Iraqi security forces on the ground, ISIS has proven very capable of holding ground. They've been changing tactics to make themselves less vulnerable from the air, and they've also been resorting to traditional terror attacks against Iraqi forces, Kurdish forces, and against civilians as well. Also look for U.S. forces in 2015 to be more in harm's way as their numbers approach some 3,000 U.S. troops on the ground. Many of them will no longer be confined to the relatively safe areas of Kurdistan in the north and the capital Baghdad in central Iraq. You already have 300 American advisors at al-Assad base in the hotly contested Anbar province, and over the course of the year you'll have many more forward deployed at training centers around the country. Key question in 2015 is, will U.S. commanders ask that American forces be more forward deployed, perhaps as air controllers for airstrikes against ISIS? It's an option that U.S. commanders have said they will not take off the table. Also look in 2015 for Iraqi forces to take more aggressive action, particularly an attempt to retake Mosul, key northern city in Iraq, a key stronghold for ISIS. Iraqi commanders somewhat impatient about when they should go forward with such an operation. U.S. commanders less impatient. They're not sure that Iraqi forces are capable yet of such an ambitious operation. The war against ISIS inside Syria looks even less hopeful. For one, the U.S. and the coalition still have not completed vetting moderate rebels to take on ISIS on the ground there. Two, ISIS proving very good at changing their tactics in Syria as well to make themselves less vulnerable to the U.S.-led air campaign. Also, ISIS opening up new fronts in the war in Syria, including close to Lebanon. From the beginning, U.S. commanders and the president have said that the war on ISIS will be measured in years, not months. That'll become very clear this year, and it'll become very clear that the war will extend far beyond 2015.
Quick, what's the capital of Belgium? It's the first stop in today's roll call. Brussels is the answer. The Brigands are here watching from the Brussels American School. From the American South, we heard from some Tigers in Gurley, Alabama. They're at Madison County High School. And in Longmont, Colorado, don't tread on the rattlers. Altona Middle School is wrapping up our roll. Sitting there at your desk, what can you do to prevent the flu? 1. Don't touch your eyes, mouth, or nose. Avoid close contact with sick people. Wash your hands. And if you are sick, the CDC says you should stay home for at least 24 hours after your fever's gone, unless, of course, you're going to go see a doctor. All tips to stay healthy in a particularly nasty flu season.
Let me try and settle this flu shot thing, although I'm sure it's going to keep coming up again and again. You can't get the flu from the flu shot. It's a dead virus. It can't actually cause flu. Why do people feel sort of crummy afterward? It's because the flu vaccine is actually working, making your immune system fire up, get ready, and recognize, if it actually sees the flu, how to kill it. No, it's not 100% fail-safe. For instance, this particular year, the dominant circulating strain is something known as H3N2, but it's mutated just a little bit, which means that the flu vaccine that was made months ago is not going to be quite as effective as if it hadn't mutated at all. But it's still going to offer a lot of protection, so that you're not going to be as sick, as likely to get sick, or if you do get sick, have a shorter duration. Okay, so if you're like me, your mom probably said, don't go outside in the cold without your hat on, you're going to catch the flu. You can't catch the flu from just simply being outside in the cold. But it does raise the question, why are there so many more flu cases in the winter months? You're likely to stay indoors more. So if one person is sick, more people are likely to get sick. The sun is lower in the sky, and as a result, you have less vitamin D actually being produced in your body. Your immune system starts to get suppressed a little bit. You're more likely to get sick with the flu. The winter months tend to be lower humidity. Viruses like the flu virus, they like lower humidity. They're likely to live longer. So your mom may have been right. I mean, look, moms are always right, but maybe not for the reasons you originally thought.
Volcanoes, they're a blast. There are about 1,500 volcanoes on Earth that could be active one day, and that's not counting the ones on the ocean floor. But scientists say only 50 to 60 volcanoes actually erupt in a given year. Now that's random, right? All right, Crazy Horse was the name of a Sioux Indian chief. He was probably born around 1840 in what's now South Dakota. He was a determined warrior who fought to preserve Native Americans' way of life and fought against his people's relocation to reservations. Crazy Horse participated in an ambush of dozens of U.S. soldiers in 1866. He helped defeat George Armstrong Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn. Crazy Horse became almost mythical in his resistance to white expansion. He was killed in a scuffle with U.S. soldiers after surrendering to them in 1877. Today, his legacy is being carved out in stone.
This is truly dedication in stone. This project really has its roots back in 1939. That's when a sculptor from Massachusetts by the name of Korchak Julkowski came here to the Black Hills of South Dakota to work on Mount Rushmore. Not too long after that, Chief Standing Bear invited the sculptor to work on a mountainous tribute to the Native American Indian, honoring their culture, their traditions, their heritage, and their heroes. In 1947, Julkowski made good on that and began the Crazy Horse Memorial.
Mother helped build those stairs up the mountain, and Dad would say whenever he dropped a hammer, she was right there to pick it up.
At one point, did they start getting help?
When they had 10 children. But we have a lot of help. We're not alone.
I started 35 years ago, but I've actually worked on the mountain 27. I have had the opportunity to at least see the face done. And Korchak, did all this work without being able to see that.
So right now we are walking on what will be Crazy Horse's arm out to his pointing finger. And when you come up here, they tell you to not turn around until you're far enough out so that you can really get that true impression of Crazy Horse's face. It is nearly 90 feet tall. So I'm going to turn around and take a look at it, and wow, it's pretty impressive.
My lands are where my dead lie buried, and that's what this mountain is representing.
And that's an answer to?
A white trader asked Crazy Horse, where are your lands now, to Shunka Whitco, and he pointed over his horse and said, my lands are where my dead lie buried. Sorry.
That was a spiteful question, wasn't it? And so he answered like, this is where I'm from. Mm-hmm. This is where my people are.
Yeah.
It has so much meaning to you.
Yep.
When all is said and done, it'll be 641 feet long and 563 feet tall. Just up the road is Mount Rushmore. Those 4 presidents' heads are 60 feet tall each. Together, they would fit in just Crazy Horse's head. Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea how long this is going to take?
By the time I'm an old lady, it should look pretty good. And
pretty
I'm
good.
not being a smart aleck.
When we say dog sled, you'd probably think Iditarod or the Call of the Wild, anything with huskies pulling someone on board a sled. Not here. Stella the bulldog puppy isn't pulling anyone. She's taking herself for a ride. Things get off to a bit of a slow start, but hey, she's only 5 months old. Pretty soon, she really starts sliding. The only thing she needs work on is at the end. Except for the fence at the bottom of the hill, there's just snow stopping her. Some would say allowing her to hit the posts was indefensible, but she was bullish, dogligent, and doggedly dog-termined to hot dog down to a dog-cisively incredible undog-taking. It's all downhill when you go to the dogs. For CNN Student News, I'm Carl Azus.